What's up, weebs? God, I can't believe I'm saying that out loud, but okay. That's part of the life of a YouTuber who covers topics in Japanese culture. So today we're going to be talking about train jingles. If you've spent any time in Japan, you've probably noticed that each train station has a unique little ditty that plays over the intercom before the train leaves. And when I've been in Japan and listened to some of those train jingles, some of them are making like really interesting harmonic choices or just very characteristically Japanese harmonic choices. So I thought we would go through a few of them today together, and I would break them down for you from a harmonic perspective in terms of what's going on. And one guy who's written a number of them and is still an employee of JR is Minoru Mukaya. Who actually, fun fact, was the keyboardist for a jazz group called Cassiopeia back in the day. Anyway, let's listen to a couple of the themes and I'll try to figure out what's going on. Okay, so this first one is JRTR 11, and I've been told it is the theme for the Hokkaido and Tohoku Shinkansen, which includes my favorite station, Shin Hakodate Hokuto. Can't believe I said that right the first time. Shin Hakodate Hokuto. Great, so to my ear, we're working in F sharp, and the main thing I'll point out here is that the song ends on a 4-5-1 cadence, which is a very kind of classical way to end a song. What I mean is like B, a 4 chord, leading up to 5 chord, leading down to the 1 chord. So we do kind of this diatonic walk up with some inversions. Yay! And the second one is called JR Waking of the Trees. And I've been told that this plays at Shinjuku and Jimbocho. And there's actually a second version that plays at Kawagoe. Let's listen to it. Nice little percussion at the end there. Okay, so this is in A major, and it goes a little something like this, at least in terms of what the harmony does. And those last 3 chords are the 2-5-1 that I'm talking about, from B minor to E down to A. Great. Okay, the next one is the theme at Kanai Station. And if I remember, this one has some cooler stuff going on, so let's listen.
Kanai, Kanai です。ご乗車ありがとうございます。
Nice. This one's pretty cool, and it actually has the Royal Road progression, the Odo Shinkai, that I've talked about quite a bit previously in it. Apparently this is an arrangement of a promotional song for a baseball team in Yokohama, so apparently there's a real version of this song. You can go listen to that.
Yokohama Baystars.
Okay, like I said, we're starting off with the Odo Shinkai, the classic progression 4-5-3-6, and we're going to do it in F. It's starting on a B flat, the 4 chord. And it's something like this. And just to note here, it's doing something that's really common as well, that when we go to the 5 chord, we leave the bass on B flat here. It sort of builds tension because the bass is still hanging out on B flat instead of moving up with the chord. Right, that's like the very vanilla 4-5-3-6. It's really cool. And then it does that. And then the second time it does something kind of extra unexpected. So 4-5, and then this whirl-magig. right? um, basically, we're just getting to this F in kind of a flashy way, which you could argue that we're using two borrow chords from F Phrygian instead of F major. The rest of the song is in F major. Pretty cool. So the next one is the theme at Kitamoto Station, which I bet you've heard if you've been to Tokyo. This one's a pretty famous one. Let's listen to it together. Ugh, I love that one. Okay, so this one doesn't necessarily have a key, you would say. It's kind of using non-functional harmony in which we are taking a certain chord shape and we're moving it up, in this case in minor thirds. And we're doing this with a major 7 chord shape. We start it on a B, and then we move it up to a D, and then we move it up to an F. And particularly, I mean, I quite like this. You can move major 7 chords around all you want, and it can just sound interesting. And if you kept going, you'd be back at B. Okay, so I'm not going to nail it note for note. The chords are something like, and then, that's a cool one. I like this one. Okay, cool. This is the one I've been waiting for a little bit. This is from Akasaka Station, and I actually recorded this one myself. And it's kind of the station theme that gave me the idea for this whole thing in the first place. And you'll see why in a second. It kind of just uses 2 common things that I've taught about before. Cool, I found it. Yeah, I love that one. So this one's in good old C major, which makes it very easy for our instructional purposes here. And literally what it does is Royal Road progression into what's known as a Mario cadence. So the first part, Royal Road, is do 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 do. Then the Mario cadence is we're going to arrive at C, and we do that by playing A flat, B flat, C, in which A flat and B flat are borrow chords from C minor. That one's awesome. The next one is from Tatebayashi Station. And this one's kind of cool. It does another couple things that are classic Japanese things. Let's listen. Cool. And that's the whole loop, I think. Okay, so this one has a few things that are common in contemporary Japanese music. The first one is the Royal Road progression. We're also going to talk about secondary dominance. And I also heard a line cliche, which is something I've not really covered yet. And that'll be cool for us to talk about. Oh, and it just ends on a classic 2-5-1, just to say that I'm done with the song. So to my ear, this is in G flat, and the recording is like a little flat, but anyway, we are doing, like I said, a lot of the normal Japanese things with the harmony here. Started off with the Royal Road progression. And then we act like we're going to a 2-5-1, like we would go. And that is what we do at the end, but the first time we go 2, and then, so that F is from outside of the key. It's a secondary dominant because we are using the 5 chord of our target chord, which is B flat minor. And here is where the line cliche comes in. When we hit that B flat minor, there is this voice that is walking down chromatically down to the F sharp that we're going to follow it with. And you've definitely heard this device before. It's like this. And see how nicely that led us back down to the G flat major? Really cool. So let's put the first half all together. Now we're back to that G flat. And the second time is a lot simpler. We're just going to do Odo Shinkai followed by 2-5-1 to say that the song is done. This last one's kind of a bonus. It's not in a real station. It's kind of in a hypothetical one at James May Sumimasen Station. And I found it from watching this video about Mukaya. I chose to include it because there's a really cool chord at the end.
Well, that's nice, sis.
So let's listen to it together. Oh my, oh my. Saying. Ooh, so good. Yeah, so that was pretty hip, right? Essentially what's going on here is a type of modal interchange, but this time we're switching from minor to major instead of all these other uses where we were going from major predominantly into minor for a little bit. This is something that I've used sort of unwittingly before, and it's kind of used frequently in neo-soul. I definitely have heard Robert Glasper use it, Terrace Martin, people like that. Essentially what we're doing is we are establishing the key of G minor in my ear, and the very last chord suggests G major. We start off very much in G minor. Ooh, and then what's that? This is that voicing that I really like, D over E. I call it the A over B voicing. It's the same if you do it up here. That's A over B. D over E. So that's this like really cool sus voicing. And from a classical perspective, this E chord in G minor is, I believe, called a chromatic mediant. We would usually have an E flat major as our diatonic chord to G minor, but we move the root of that chromatically. We move it up a step to be a type of E major, although it's unclear because we actually do E sus. That's still how I would describe this though, because that's our only way of justifying introducing an E into G major. And what's really tasteful about this as a type of modal interchange is that this E, look at the notes that we're introducing that aren't in G minor. We are introducing an E, the major 6, and we're introducing an F sharp, the major 7. We are not introducing the major 3rd. So because of that, it's kind of this more subtle form of modal interchange, or subtle way of hinting at we're in G major now. Instead of switching from like maybe to make it really clear, we make both of them 7s. So compare that to hinting at G major in a subtle, tasteful way. Ooh, so good. Love it. Yeah.
Yay! Yay, yay, yay!
All right, that's my video for today. I hope that you liked that. If you have other train jingles that you're interested in having me break down, please share them in the comments and I'll have a look. I really want to give a shout out to my Discord community for helping me to research this one. It was kind of involved and some people are just better at Japanese Google than I am. So that was super helpful, guys. Thank you so much. See you guys around. Until next time, じゃあね。